Applying the percent equation. So with percent equation problems, you need to know a little bit about translating them first. So before I even write down a problem, let me talk about the way that things translate in percent equation problems. If you see the word, oops, that is way too thick. Let me get my regular pen out. If you see the word of, this is going to mean multiplication. If you see the word is, this is going to mean an equal sign. And if you see the word what, and this could be like what percent, what number, just the word what, this is going to be your variable. You could use X, you could use N, you could use whatever makes your heart most happy. It's not going to matter. Do what makes your heart happy. So let's go ahead and see that in action. If I say that 95% of 40 is what number? I literally can translate this directly. The important thing to know is that you need to change any percentages into decimals. So instead of 95%, I would write this as 0.95. This of right here is going to be multiplication, so I'll just use the dot for multiplication here. Of 40, 40 just comes down, is translates to an equal sign, and then this whole statement here, what number? That whole thing is just X. So this translates to 0.95 times 40 is equal to X. So in your calculator, all you have to do is 0.95 times 40, and that's going to give you 38. So 95% of 40 is 38. Let's try a different one. Let's see if we have enough room here. 33 is 55% of what number? Or just what? Of 55% of what? It could say what number, it could say what, it could say what percent if the problem was a little different. So it's just the what part you're kind of looking for replacing the variable. So doing a direct translation, 33 comes down the way he is translates to an equal sign. We will take this 55% and make them into a decimal, so 0.55. Of is going to be multiplication, and then what will be our variable. So this says 33 is equal to 0.55x. So 0.55 times x is the same thing as 0.55x. And then from here, we can just solve for x by dividing by 0.55. So if I do 33 divided by 0.55 in my calculator, I get 60. So 60 is equal to x. So 33 is 55% of 60. Now in your calculator, if you tried this out, you could do 60 times 0.55 and you will get 33. So we've done one problem where we found a percentage of a number. We did one problem where we answered a number is some percent of something else. And now let's do one where we need to find the percentage. Right, so let's do what percent of 80 is 68. So again, just a direct translation. What will translate to a variable? And in this case, the whole what percent. I'm going to move him. The whole what percent is your variable. So we have x. Of is going to be multiplication. 80 comes straight down. Then, sorry, I'm messing with my colors, is an equal sign, and 68 comes straight down. So when you see x times 80, this is the same thing as 80x, and I think that's a lot more natural for us to write 80x. So I'm going to write this as 80x is equal to 68. I'm going to divide both sides by 80 to solve for x. So in my calculator, I'm doing 68 divided by 80, and I get x is equal to 0.85. Now, it's really tempting to be like, oh, that's it, that's my answer. However, on percent ones, when you're finding the percentage, and only when you're finding the percentage, you need to edit this number and put it in percent form. So it's currently in decimal form. To move it into percent form, you're going to move the decimal 2 places to the right. So kind of the opposite of making a percentage into a decimal. When you've done that, you're going to get that x is equal to 85%. And that's your final answer. And so with these ones, just important, let me go back a page, just important to know this translation right here. This translation makes a huge difference in what you're doing. It makes it really, really straightforward. You can literally just draw your arrow straight down and solve for the remaining variable. Easy as 1, 2, 3-ish.